Sam Darnold is one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks in the NFL right now. People always remember his bad times in the league, but they never remember his good times. Just like how it works with an ex-girlfriend. She'll always remember the bad times, but she'll never look back and remember on the good times. So I guess you can refer to Sam Darnold as that ex-girlfriend. I feel like there's times where Sam Darnold doesn't get as much love as he deserves. In his time with the Jets, he had Robbie Anderson as his wide receiver 1. That should tell you a lot. Also, in the years he was there, the Jets offensive line was ranked dead last, number 32, every single year. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, his wide receiver 2 and 3 was Quincy Enunwa and Jermaine Kearse. Not the Seahawks prime Jermaine Kearse, the 32-year-old Jermaine Kearse. Oh, and the Jets also had the worst head coach in the NFL at the time, Adam Gase. So you have 3 mediocre wide receivers, the worst offensive line in the league, and the worst head coach in the league. That is basically setting someone up for a disaster, and that's exactly what happened in New York for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has never had anything around him in his career. He never had a DeAndre Hopkins or a Larry Fitzgerald, I guess you'd say. He's had 3 mediocre wide receivers his whole career, and he's been able to make Robbie Anderson look like a Pro Bowl receiver. That should say a lot with an offensive line that was ranked dead last every single year, right? Wrong, because people don't remember that. Sam Darnold is not a bad quarterback. He's just never had good around him. They say that only 9% of quarterbacks that are pushed in to start day 1 of their NFL career succeed. And that should say if you ever get drafted to the Jets, you might as well retire immediately. Only 9%. Yes, I know that's only a statistic and that could be wrong, but only 9% of quarterbacks that are rookies that start their first ever game, only 9% succeed. And we saw the same exact thing with Zach Wilson. They pushed him in immediately to start, and what happened? 3 years later, he's on a totally different team in a different conference. Let's go over Sam Darnold's stats between his 3 years with the Jets. In his rookie season, he played 13 games. He had a 57.7% completion percentage. He had 2,865 yards with 17 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. In the 13 games he played, he was sacked on average 3 times per game. Once again, there shows forth the offensive line not so good. Whatever, right? The next year he probably did better. Sacked 36 times. He threw a 61.9% completion percentage, and he had about 0.8 seconds to throw the ball. 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 13 picks. With the worst offensive line and some mediocre targets, he still managed to throw for 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 13 picks. The very next year, he played 12 games. Sacked 35 times in 11 games. Threw for 2,208 yards, 59% completion percentage, had an average 0.6 seconds to throw the football. He had 9 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, but like I just said, he has 0 time to throw the ball, and that's with his 3 years with the Jets. Now let's take it along to Carolina. He played 12 games. 59.9% completion percentage, 2,527 yards to 9 touchdowns and 13 picks. Take a guess how many times he was sacked. 37 times. So you're telling me between the 4 years he's played in his career, he's already been sacked about 150 times. That's not a way you should be trying to develop your quarterback against a terrible offensive line on 2 different teams. Very next year in 2022 in Carolina, he only played 6 games because he was benched. In the 6 games he played, sacked 17 times. 1,143 yards, 7 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. He was not hurt, he got benched. And then of course last year he went to San Francisco, 10 for 28. He only started 2 games last year with San Francisco, but he went 28 for 46, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns to 1 interception with a 67% completion percentage. He was also sacked 6 times there, and obviously none of the 49ers starters did play because they benched their starters because they already clinched the playoffs in their division. So in Sam Darnold's whole career so far, he's started 66 games, he's thrown for over 12,000 yards, 63 touchdowns to 56 interceptions, and guess what? He was sacked a total for 149 times so far in his career. He's only played 66 games and he's already been sacked 150 times. Now I wouldn't really consider Sam Darnold a mobile quarterback, but just for the whatever, he's rushed for 760 yards in his career and 13 touchdowns. He also has 19 fumbles, and most of that's from being sacked and strip sacked, but this past offseason he did sign with the Minnesota Vikings, and he is expected to be their starter week 1. JJ McCarthy came down with an injury and he has to get surgery, so he will not be playing a single game this season. Sam Darnold was already expected to be the quarterback 1 for the Vikings this year to start off, but now he pretty much has his guaranteed for the whole year as long as he doesn't do anything stupid. But now this is the point I've been waiting to make. Sam Darnold now has Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, a top 10 offensive line in the NFL right now, and a pretty solid defense to keep him off the field for a little bit. Now that he has all of that around him, there is no excuse for Sam Darnold not to succeed in the NFL. His whole career he hasn't had anything this good, and now he has the best receiver in the NFL, a top 15 receiver, a top 5 tight end, and a top 10 offensive line. He has everything around him to succeed this year. In the one drive Sam Darnold has played so far in the preseason, I'd say he looked pretty sharp. Sam Darnold now has an opportunity to revive his NFL career with the Minnesota Vikings, and I pretty much well think that it is going to happen. There is no doubt in my mind that Sam Darnold messes this up because, like I said, he now has everything around him to succeed. The Vikings are in a very competent division with the Bears, Lions, and Packers, but I still think they can make the playoffs. The Bears, who just drafted Caleb Williams and have a great roster on paper, the Lions, who are coming off of a phenomenal year having an NFC championship appearance, and the Packers, who had a great second half of their season last year. I think this whole division is going to be amazing this year and every team's going to go over 500. I really think Sam Darnold is starting quarterback caliber. With a great head coach and all of this talent around him, I definitely think the Vikings can sneak in the playoffs and shock a lot of people this year. You could be the best player in football and nobody will know it, or you can be a really good player and nobody will know it if you're on a bad team. Basically, just to leave this one off, let's just see what Sam Darnold does this year finally with talent around him. I want you guys to let me know, do you guys think that Sam Darnold will be successful with the Vikings, or will this be the end of his career and end of the road as potentially being a starting quarterback in the NFL? Sam Darnold will be a starting quarterback going into next year, and he will finish the season off as a top 15 quarterback this year, and he will lead the Vikings to the playoffs, and I have no doubts in the world at all. But if you guys did enjoy this one, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn those post notifications on so you never miss another video from the GOAT Who Dates himself. If you guys want to see more content like this, of course, let me know down in the comments below. I really enjoyed making this one. So if you guys did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button and turn those post notifications on. And until next time, it's 2 Days signing off. See ya.